Good day. This is Regina's Rabbit Hole, and want to finish talking about Kundalini energy and chakras. Okay. We were talking about green, and we're talking about how the energy morphs, and just not so much talking about technically about chakras. Good day. But talking about how the Kundalini energy looks to me and our culture, and what I have found that I'm sharing with you in my studies, what I utilize in my beliefs, and just how I feel about it. Okay, so we're talking about Kundalini energy. By the way, that green is associated with the frequency C, the note C, and 523 hertz. It's also number 6, which is Haru. And it deals with Raphael on the tree, which is also beauty and the Tepereth. Okay. I was associating it together, the Son of Man, which goes with balance, and the Analima. If you do your studies, you'll find the word association with these symbols. The abyss, like they're all wrapped up together with the heart energy. That space of love, tolerance, and accountability. The place where, if we're corresponding frequencies, and there's all these things going on in regards to blocking the way of love or corrupting the interpretation of love. Like take Valentine's Day. I'm all for love. But I'm just saying the way things are capitalized on and the way the concepts are twisted, like the concept of the rainbow, which is the reason why I was doing this, is that the Kundalini, I believe the Kundalini energy has been distorted. Color and frequency is a big part of our society. That's how you get people to buy things. It's a trigger. Now, us everyday folks weren't really meant to hone in on that, because by not knowing that, it makes us easy prey. Somebody wants to make $1 million, you're easy prey for whatever weaknesses that we might have inside of us. Like, instead of a conversation, instead of cultivating relationships, real conversation, real relationships, real respect, a Gucci bag and a box of chocolates, a night out to dinner, a vacation. Now, these things are lovely, but they don't take the place of a real connection. They don't take the place of, there's such thing as being unevenly yoked. There's just spaces where love is that you can only have your corresponding frequency. Things that you have cultivated. And that's why I was equating the earth's canopy, the color green, to a mother's love. Because mama doesn't quit. And earth will find a way, whether it's spiritually, metaphorically, or literally, to overturn that which is in the way of what it loves. And I assume what it loves is what it nurtures. And so we get up every day and we take a deep breath. We enjoy the air, we enjoy the trees, we enjoy the vast canopy, the birds, and the different life forms. Hopefully, as a part of our being, and how we incorporate that is all according to perception. And I was equating that with the way that we interact with each other in our culture. For instance, metaphorically, we can compare each other to different types of foliage, whether you be a flower or a tree or a different kind of flower, or, you know, a bush, whether you want to be a life form like the zodiac, you know, a bird or a lion, you know, or a Scorpio or something, okay? Whether you want to be depicted as an animal form. On the poles, when we're looking at different perceptions, we're looking at different realities. You are not my interpretation, and I'm not yours. I'm my interpretation of me. You can perceive me any way you want, and the same I for you, and we're going to miss something because we haven't been there every day. We're going to miss something because the same thing doesn't have value to me that it does to you. For instance, perhaps holidays or certain colors have certain significance and things like that. So we're all different, you know. Some birds eat bugs and meat, and other ones eat foliage. You know, animals are the same way. We're not all the same. So equating us across the globe, looking at the analema, looking at us being light inside, encased inside of a carbon body. We're a light code being, male and female, here to on a journey to meet each other, to share a corresponding frequency, shareable waves, right? Now, what's happened is, I mean, that all sounds ideal and it sounds lovely, right? But what about putting the work in? What about when fear and when other people's perception is not your own? And that's what I was talking about yesterday. I really wanted to. I didn't want to just leave it like that, but there were so many different correspondences that were intricate for me and intimate for me that I wanted to make. I had to like relax into it. So when we're talking about corresponding frequencies, and we're light code beings, and we're talking about colors and triggers, we're talking about the matrix, we're talking about social programming, and how this is what I have been talking about. And the way socially our sexual energy, our Kundailini energy has been changed, morphed, capitalized on, corrupted, and how we're sick. The male and female energy is off balance. The sexual energy is off balance. It's more a commodity than it is a real thing that we have recognized what it looks like. So I'm again expressing what it looks like. So when you're plugged into the corresponding frequencies, and you're plugged into the earth frequency, you can be plugged into whatever you want, because it's according to our perception, according to our desires, according to our intent. Do I want to see something fantastic and pure? Am I looking for that? Or am I always looking for the M or F-er, the one that has something up his sleeve? In a world where they tell us that somebody always has something up their sleeve, it's like corrupting blocking out the light. There's so much going on that sometimes I can't see. I couldn't see the love that I was getting, the appreciation that I was getting. And so for me, when I saw them, being a Sunday school teacher, growing up in the church, having religion in my view, it was blocking the deeper meaning of spirituality for me, because I kept getting hung up on how they weren't doing what they said. How this place is not what it was supposed to be. How this building is supposed to be sanctified, and these people are supposed to be sanctified, and this word is supposed to be sanctified, and I'm supposed to have agape love. I was getting hung up on all the animosity. How I myself couldn't get it right. When I was a child, I thought as a child, I played with childish things, but when I grew up, how's that saying go? You put the childish things away. Those notions should disappear. That anger should disappear. That's what I'm getting at. How can you forgive? What is love? What does it look like? How much does the earth forgive, really? We have maimed, killed, and we have done a lot of things. And we're looking at love, real love. We're looking at mama. We're looking at womb space. And we're looking at the corruption of that. And war, the booty. You know? The booty. The land. The ability to have the space to create and nurture and cultivate particular ideas and notions. And so the male-female energy is off. And it really bothered me. I didn't have the words or the mentality to articulate what I saw. It was just a fire. You know, you just get frustrated when you see people like, why don't they get it? But I was blind. I didn't see that there was other things going on. And that's why they call it the Matrix. I wasn't aware of what the Matrix was at all. I was just looking for love and how to define it. And I saw Ken and Barbie, and I saw Danya Marie, and I saw Tina Turner and Ike. That had to be us, right? Visually, there were things blocking my perception of love and the male and female energy. I always tell you what you can't do. What it isn't. The fear base is always there. But at the same token, there's a pole. So is mother's love. So is the love of a woman. So is the love of a sister. So is the love of a female friend that has your best interest in mind. Right? Like sis. Like auntie. And so the more I see these energies corrupted, in the same way that you look at the media and you see particular groups always shown and depicted in a certain way, you know, where your heart can't elevate and rejoice in the image that you see. You leave you in cryostasis of another negative and another counterproductive image. Because if those images were teaching us something and there was always somebody rising to the occasion and overcoming them when we saw them, that would be one thing. But we get to see rape and murder and maiming and back crossing and double dealing and backstabbing and gender trumping, and you know, we get to see a lot of stuff that's really not necessary for us to see. And then we get full of it. Take a lifetime, take 30 years of watching those images and being around other people who are also programmed and indoctrinated with the same kinds of social programming and engineering. And we make up a society. You got birds and dogs, snakes, and sheep. And Scorpios and fluffy things. We have a lot of programming. This is about deprogramming. It's about taking back our sexual energy. Our Kundailini energy is not necessarily about sex, but it is about procreation and creation. can't procreate and create if there's no space, and it all starts with a thought. How can it start with a thought if there's so much stuff up there already? And that's why flow is important. And it all goes back to point zero. It all goes back to mom. It all goes back to what is pure and what loves you. When I was looking at all this, what is real? Please tell me what is real. What can I depend on? Oh my gosh. Can't look at another eyeball and get a lie. Not because they're lying to me on purpose, but because they don't even realize that they're lying. So if we're programmed, where is the hope? It goes back to the elements. Fire, water, earth, air, and ether. The things that are already capitalized on. Morphed, changed, packaged. Like clinging cymbals and sounding brass. But for the grace of God, there go I, right? Everything is not about money. And you can't buy a real thing. But I noticed how they were always trying to suppress it and belittle it. Like the canopy of earth, that we can't even get air. We can't even... Man, the level of things that we're not seeing, that we have been indoctrinated to let just fly over our head and not appreciate and misappropriate. The misappropriations of funds, the booty, the land, the womb space, the place for cultivation, the beauty, the Raphael, the green, green machine. So as we move across the earth with the female energy, one being time, one being space, chronos, however you want to break it down. These frequencies and tones change throughout the cultures. Like, if you look at the background, there's a similar message and frequency, and it all starts out with male and female energy that make a procreation. And there was no... It didn't look like what it looks like now, is what I'm saying. So... what do you do when you have corresponding frequencies, when you yourself has been infected? When you grow up and you stop thinking as a child and stop pointing the finger at everybody else and realize that you yourself has done damage, has contributed to the programming. You yourself have a choice to continue to contribute, and then realize that with all that you know, you can't possibly know everything. It's just subject to do the best that you can with the intent that you have. But what is it? I'm telling you about me, my perception, what I can glean and see from where I am, from the life that I've had. And you don't even know what that is because I didn't really tell you. I can tell you clips and pieces. You can get an assumption, a snippet. We can share with each other this wave and frequency. I'm a girl, I'm sharing my female frequency and vibration. And you're sharing yours. It's like a magnet. Space and time, right? My intent? To be joyful that I can have your attention, family. That I even have the opportunity to put these words together in spirit and share what it is that I'm thinking, that you have the even notion to listen to me. And perhaps that some of the things that I say will develop and create some other wonderful movements to be able to heal things, because it's not all terrible. And it shouldn't all be looked at horrible. Not all men are terrible like they keep showing us on the media. And we're so limited in images. I love when I get to see people have joined the campaign and breaking those images and showing pictures of their families and their spouses and them doing things in the community and them interacting and the things that they eat and do, and all of them not counterproductive. All of them useful. All of them make me smile and give me joy. There's a pole, and we're geared into the negative side of the pole. The frequency that gets us all staticky, allows us not to think, so you can't cultivate. We can't make spaces that create things. And there's no economy to cultivate our male and female energy and the way away from which it has been steered, which obviously is not productive. And everybody, no matter where you're from, is saying that. Everything needs to be tweaked. So I'm just putting my 2 cents in. This is the way that we do it. This is the way that we do it. This is the way that it starts. It all starts with an idea. So I used to be really angry at my mom. And that anger ate me. And then I went out and I did things. And I was sitting there looking stupid, like, wait a minute. I can't keep pointing the finger at her if I myself has done things. But the gremlin in me was like, nah, it was because of what she did. It's because of what the white man did. It's because of what the man did. It's because of what my dad did. It's because of what society did. It's because of what they did. I ain't got to clean up ish. Look what they did. 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 Follow the bouncing ball. Look what they did. Look what they did. This is what we're getting. Then you notice how some people always show up when you're trying to do something. And they don't belong there. They're not there with good energy. And if you're there with energy that is procreation, cool, right? But if you're there to start some stuff, man, come on now. Don't we got enough places to start some stuff? Can we make places where we don't start stuff? Trick them and make places be non-idiotic and make places for love. Do the unthinkable. Yeah, be ridiculous. Make places where we actually help each other. We actually listen to each other, respect each other, cultivate each other, nurture each other. It all starts with an idea. It all starts with a thought. When I crochet, it all starts with one thread, with a string. That string, I can make anything I want, anything I put my mind to. The different colors and patterns and textures and ideas, flowers, checkers, stripes, double crochet, single crochet, lace. That simple thing right there. Make a doll, make a blanket, make a hat, a scarf. It all starts with an idea. We too are like this, but we be looking at our energies in a strange way, and that is because of the corresponding frequencies. We've been programmed to think in a particular way. Take Serapis picture up in the church. White Jesus up in the church. Do your epidology and ciphering. I'm not picking on Jesus. I'm picking on Serapis, depicted as Jesus, up in a church when people are, spirit is open and they're not aware of how spiritual energies move. They're not aware of how valuable our spirit is. Not aware about how valuable this energy is that we have. We've been belittling ourselves, and that's why I say that the males in society have been pushed into a position of female submission due to lack of economy, lack of space to cultivate economy, lack of womb space and space to be away from the color red in a non-productive way. The noise, the static, the white noise, not the brown noise where you lay back and like, you know, baby, bring me another iced tea. You know, where the energy is flowing in a mutually beneficial way, where them poles are doing their thing, and you have that Taurus energy going with one another across the globe. Things change and they morph and they look different. It's like a ghost. Like that movie The Fallen with Denzel Washington, right? It was a spirit that could just flow from one being to another as long as it was in a radius. And the same way cultural ideas, you know, are shared with one another. We have a radius. Those are the invisible boxes, spiritual vices that we give to one another. And you can call them what you want. There's plenty of different religions and social ideas, you know. Girls are like this, boys are like this, and do not deviate. Blacks are like this, whites are like this, Puerto Ricans are like this, Asians are like this, Africans are like this. And the Arabs are like this and do not deviate. The color red is only supposed to be seen like this. Don't think of strawberries. Think of stop sign, red, ambulance, stop. Not sunsets and strawberries and apples. Pomegranates. Pomegranates. Seeds within seeds. We're ideas within ideas. We are the tetrahedron. Check that out. Forgot the guy's name off the top of my head. Hey sis, Angelica. Jelly Belly. We are ideas within ideas. We are a pod. We are meant to spin one another, the male and female energy that's being corrupted in our culture. And so when it comes to finding corresponding frequencies, I had to grow up. I had to leave those childish notions alone that I was not responsible. There's a level of accountability no matter who you are now. If you're doing an ascension process or you're doing any kind of spiritual development, one thing that I realize they're lying to us about is our own responsibility. We're brought up to be children in our culture and not take responsibility. There's information being left out on how to heal ourselves. There's corruption put in there on how to see ourselves. There's programming that blocks us from cultivating ourselves, whether it's economically, spiritually, you know, or otherwise. And now all this static, all this Wi-Fi, put it to good use. It's a pole. During this time of ascension and our planetary awakening and acceleration, it is what it is. Some of us are here. You already left if you weren't here already. We're just supporting each other while we float through it. Each one teach one from within their own space. From within our fixed positioning and this pod and this earth and this womb space. We have a perspective. But it doesn't have to be flatline. We can give it life. Each of us have a symphony. Each of us have a part in the symphony to play. That guy who says, life is a play and each one of us are mere actors. I forget who said that, but I know he said it because I took acting class. And it helped me to get more confident with speaking. I had a lot to say. I had a lot of hurts and pains and things inside. And I felt like at one point that I should be subject to the way that I knew the programming that other people had is. That I should be happy to just have lived through it, sit back in the cuff and keep my mouth shut. But for one reason I can't do it is because I have children that are subject to the same thing, that you keep your mouth. Yes, Shakespeare. Thank you, Jelly. A wise man once said, know when to be quiet. He once said that. Know when to speak and know when to be quiet. We're too quiet. There's too much going on. There's too much hurt and pain. We've been fearful for too long. We've been programmed to be in a particular way. But thank goodness the time is now when we don't have to be subject to that. There is something going on spiritually. When you hold back something and you block it to the point where it just comes bouncing out, it's gushing. The levee is gone. It's broken. And spiritually, the martyrs are in the whirlwind. Marcus Garvey is on the sidelines waving the flag on. Get it? I want to rock right now. Nothing can be held back forever. But there's a strange part. Like, remember, there's a pull. This is the love part. Accountability. I was talking about ley lines and war and blood and injustice yesterday. The last on the green. Love, unconditional love, agape love, does not mean. Now this is where it gets tricky. I was saying yesterday how I noticed in each culture, love changed. It changed if you were a woman. It changed if you had money. It changed if you were in a different culture. It changed depending on what you sacrificed and the way you dressed and what group that you were in. Except for particular things. What didn't change was always the same. Fire is fire. Water is water. Earth is earth. Ether is ether and air is air. And just like the chakras and how people are a depiction of the world, like we're little representatives of our cultures. You know what? This is a book on chakras. And it's not just one color. A really good chakra. Now remember I was telling you how we're just really actually a bunch of frequencies and codes and stuff. I know it's difficult to believe. You know, but somebody can actually punch your combination and set you off. Yes, indeed. Especially if you're not aware that they can do it. And this is the wizardry that we have going on. Spelling it out for you. That's the glamour and grammar of it all. If Earth was a woman, was a person, Earth is a womb space, right? And we're frequencies and codes and on a tree. And it doesn't matter what culture you come from. If you break it down and you find the roots, the essence, we'll find ourselves. And what basically it's saying is learn how to balance your male and female energy and your chakras. I was listening to a video the other day, and you know, I love the way we're putting together these different pieces. Okay, this is a cell salt. Things that would be missing and depleted from the body according to your date of birth. Like the earth knows, there's no escape. These are, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, an apple is a symbol of information. Phi. Okay? An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Check out cell salts if you're having issues. Check out acupuncture if you're having issues, and massage. The different glows and radiance that the sun shows us as it raises up across the earth alone has frequencies and codes to heal the body. And so we can be triggered. Dr. Moto did a study, a water study. He took water and he froze it in a jar. He wrote on it, "I love you. You're beautiful. You're awesome." And he took it and he put it in the freezer. And when they looked at the water crystals under the microscope, I don't know, microscope, you could see the most fantastic crystal formations. Now remember, we're over 70% water. All right? I'm sure the ratio is even more than that. But this is on the fly. Cuckoos like that. Dr. Moto also took water in the same way. And he wrote on it, "I hate you." And other stuff like that. That we hear enough of, so I don't have to give you that frequency, do I? And he put those in the freezer. Yada, 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 make a long story short. When he looked at that under the microscope, it showed distorted crystal formations that you could equate to cancer. In order to create something, you need male and female energy. You're talking about time and space. We're sharing that together right now with intent. Intent is a frequency. Things are trifold. So it's who we are. It's what we think we're doing. And it's also the influence of what's being done already. There's influences. Excuse me. Maybe I shouldn't. Did I drink that after I said that? I love you. I love you. So, the hardest part is being able to recognize the different programming that I see us going through. Looking at people in the eyes, and not all of us know that it's going on. Knowing that Know enough to know that you don't know anything, and there's always more to learn. That my intent is just to be the next best me that I can be next to you. And hopefully you're trying to do the same thing. That my frequency lands me in a place where I'm next to that person doing what I'm doing. And that I'm not BSing. Because that energy is choking us and corrupting us. It's a done deal with that. So when I was looking for the truth, and that's why I said, when I was a child, I thought as a child. And when I grew up, I put those childish things away. Part of love is realizing your own accountability and wanting to heal, wanting to not heal as in submit, yes, but submit toward a mutually beneficial frequency, to be able to take those things which are not and make them as though they were, to be able to take abuse, the abuses that we've suffered, and in wisdom and love and in truth, Ashe, raise up using the lineage and the ancestry. This is my intent. And no program stop me from doing that. If I continue to just keep putting one foot in front of the other and do the next best thing, according to my own perception, guided by my spiritual energies and the ancestors and the Creator. To leave room for other people and their beliefs, realizing that we're part of this pomegranate, this chesahedron. We move, okay? Frequencies, codes, and vibrations. How can I be angry, continue to be angry, if I know that you've been corrupted with a program? It is what it is. My empowerment is that I can't change you. You've made a choice, or you're locked into something, whatever, right? I might not even spend my time trying to think about how you got like that. Just realize, okay, you like that. Can I go around them somehow and avoid it? When I look that person in the eye, when I look myself in the eye, can I truly love? Did I look deep enough? Yes, I did. There are programs running that influence us in the way that we think, in the same way that Dr. Moto taped that saying on the jar, stuck it in the freezer, and you were able to see whether what he said caused dis-ease within the water, which is a living entity all by itself. We are what we eat. We are what we are. And we are what is affecting us. We are corresponding frequency. We are .911 with bullets, gunfire, car music, horns, airplanes, sounds of buses, yelling, music, static, not hearing each other, rushing. America runs on Dunkin' Donuts. Throw in a movie and some fries. Fast food, TV dinner. America runs. Follow the bouncing ball. We are the package store, the church on every corner. What the guy down the road said you were? Are we? If that's the case, let's just say that's the case. Well, then you're also this too. We also have a choice to be this too. We are flowers. We are sunshine. We are the word. We are the truth. We are the light. We are the thing that moves stuff out of the way and makes us sweet noise. What? We are the joy. We are the drum. We are the healing. We are the word that says love on a glass and crystallizes the medicine. What? We are the snake that eats itself and comes up with what we need in society and turns the earth until we come out with a baby that will freaking do it for us. We are. We are love. We are love. We are made of love. We breathe in love. This is our essence. We're not seeing all this stuff right here. When you can spend the time to see past the yelling and the noise, past the cold eyes and the people who don't even know they're lying to themselves, including myself. Sometimes you gotta really look. I have my story. That's why I can do that now. There was a time I couldn't do that. Yesterday I had mentioned, okay, so the agape love and how can you heal, you know what I'm saying? How can you forgive pedophiles and murderers and thieves and liars and stuff like that? Well, that's why. All the stuff that I'm saying now is how and why we should and can. Actually, above all that, truthfully, unless you want to believe the program that tells us that we're not accountable, that somebody else is greater than us, that somebody else's interpretation of us is greater than that of ourselves, unless we chose that interpretation. The only problem is, I can't change you, but I can share who I am and how I see me with you and find corresponding frequencies. I can find corresponding frequencies. And that's the part I love the most about sharing. Sharing is caring. I have a choice on what I share. I can share the frequency of pain and hate and all that stuff. Or I can share one that is my interpretation of flow and love and shareable wave frequencies and things like that. I can tell you that I know that's what we are. You know, at the end of the day, it's a joke. You're not even who you are. Why can't you put on a song right now and you feel like you've become the song and frequency, tone, and vibration? Sit near a lake. Hear the gurgling and the sound. Suddenly, you feel like the lake, the gurgling and bubbling. The synchronicities. When you're inner charge, the only way in, the only way out is in. That's what this says. When your inner charge, plasma-filled bubble, your aura needs to reach out and touch. What? We're talking about male and female energy, our Kundailini, and the way that it's been distorted. Why is it now that whenever people get together, they think they're supposed to be touching in ways that are not conducive to mutually beneficial environments? We've been programmed to be triggered by, you can only have certain environments. What is the nightclub and like they messing with our fun box. Where do we have fun? We are really squared in. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on? And so these things are things that I have ideas, you know, need to be changed. We don't got to touch each other every time, in that way, every time we see each other, just because it's male and female energy or sexual energy. What could we be doing? There's so many other ways to cultivate this energy and make it safer. They've let someone else's interpretation of us and love define us, corrupt us, pervert us. I'm tired of somebody else defining me. It's really annoying. I am not your interpretation of me. I'm my own, and that's why the Creator birthed me under my own astrological sign. We could all be born on the same freaking day. At the same moment, they were just clone the same freaking person over and over again. That's what they're trying to do, because that sways the energy. Don't think, let Joe Blow think for you. You're thinking like Joe Blow. That's what I realized was happening to me. This is energy. This is the DNA, the way our energy flows. I'm being held in an egg. Okay? Into the oneness. So, that's about all I wanted to say. I didn't want to just leave it on that cliffhanger I did the other day. It was just so emotional. When you talk about love and you talk about agape love and corresponding frequencies and being real, and the way our energy morphs and changes within our culture. Yeah, so these are some of the things that I've been seeing. Color Green talking about love. How I've seen it distorted. If love is like a box of chocolates, it should be like you never know what you're going to get. We should not be carbon copied. You know what I'm saying? We are not all the same. There's a surprise inside. Get some. I'm live. So I started learning about even leaves and trees and plants and, you know, just a little bit here and a little bit there in order to show my environment how much I appreciate it. I started sitting on the trees, looking at butterflies and birds, sitting near the water, and really enjoying myself in nature. Why are you looking at me like that? Are you hungry? You hungry? Alright, anyway, this is Regina's Rabbit Hole. And we're talking about love. My husband's a grizzly bear. He's like staring at me like this. He doesn't like social media. Somebody might steal me. He loves me. Anyway, this is Regina's Rabbit Hole. Much love to you. I'm out. Much love to you and yours.